Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. Today's topic is about getting started again in your practice. So let's say you have kind of gone on hiatus for a while, you have stopped meditating, or the other thing that I talk about is not just about meditation, but kind of the holistic approach to mental wellness. And so the five pillars of mental health that I've talked about in the past, and I consider them pillars of mental health because these are kind of the pieces that hold up the foundation. If these five things are here in your life, then you'll find that you will have a little bit more, you'll have more resources to be able to apply towards mental health, and conquering mental health challenges will be easier if you do pay attention to these five things. And that's funny, Vicky. From a long time ago, I put my sons are a bit old now to come and join on these. That they're kind of in their own, doing their own thing. But that was years ago, and yeah, my son, those two have grown up, and I have a grown up. I mean, they're, you know, 12 and 10, so not really grown up, but grown older that they don't want to join these live events anymore. And then my youngest is still 2 years old. So, and at that time that he was there, he didn't even he hadn't been thought of yet. By the time my second son had joined on these live events. Yeah, getting to adolescence, it's going to be a fun one. Frankly, I know I'm diverging a little bit from the topic, but I think teenage children, knock on wood, I'm not there yet, but I feel like, if we've done a good job equipping them from 0 to 8 years old, or somewhere around that time, then the teenage years, of course, will have their struggles, but the most important thing is to have that, is to build that loving relationship, so that despite whatever difficulties we have, there's always that foundation, as we talk about the pillars of mental health, the pillars of family. The number one, of course, is love, and then maybe 1 and 2, love and respect. So mutual love and respect to help foster that relationship. The five pillars of mental health are mindfulness, meditation, regular meditation, exercising often, eating well. Oh yeah, here's my balloons. Eating well, sleeping enough, and hydrating. So these five things, and then the sixth one, I guess, is be mindful of any consumption of addictive substances or media that you partake in. So just noticing these five things, and that's one of the reasons I've brought up this topic is because over the last few months I've been away on holiday. I haven't been exercising as much. I haven't been eating well. I've been enjoying lots of foods in the United States and Canada, and I've that's something that I've understood that I wanted to do, and it's caused, of course, some challenges, and I can see myself being more reactive. I've been meditating less, so all of these. I've been sleeping plenty, though. That's another one, one of the nice things, I guess, and paying attention to how much water I'm drinking. So, when we go backwards, when we start to do less of keeping these foundations firm for mental health, and we can, through mindfulness, start to see that reactivity starts to come back, and we can feel defeated sometimes by that. So instead of instead of letting it deteriorate further, and especially now that, at least in my life, I'm back in this capacity. My kids go back to school next week. I start to have more capacity for taking care of myself and my own mental health. So, what can I do if I want to get back into it? Thanks, Lisa. It's certainly nice to have a live event with a good camera and good voice. Felicia says, take a break, then reconnect. Even as a teacher who knows all these things, for sure. And that's something I just wanted to make sure that I addressed today. So I'm going to go through just some 5 steps. And last time I already went through the first step, so I'm going to paste them into the chat right now. So step 1 is begin where you are, not where you were. So where are we is different. Hi, Jenny. Welcome back. Great to see you again. Jenny is probably my very first regular at my live events. It's great to see you again. Begin where you are, not where you were. So, this is part of present moment awareness. We are where we are, and we aren't where we were. And in fact, it isn't helpful to remind ourselves where we were and to compare, right? I mean, this is what the mind wants to do. We want to compare. Like, here's where I am now. Here's where I was. Oh my gosh, I can't believe where I was. And it's going to be like what a mountain it is going to be able to climb up back to where I was. Okay, not helpful. Is it possible to just be where you are and to accept it, to recognize it, and to begin your plan of getting things back together based on where you are now, not where you were. Step 2, tiny actions create momentum. So as we slowly get moving, notice that as we do one thing at a time, and I have to say this is definitely something that I'm living by. I'm not going crazy trying to get to the gym and kill myself, right? I'm not doing yoga every single day, right? I'm not swimming every single day. In fact, today is going to be the first day I go back to swim with the swim team that I swim with and see my coach again. And and see what that's like to swim again after taking so much time off, right? So it's probably going to be challenging. I'm probably going to be out of breath at the end, and that's okay. Is it okay to skip a couple sets? If I need to stop and not swim for 50 meters from time to time, is that okay? Yes, I've given myself permission to do that, and I think this is part of it. So tiny actions create momentum, and as we are slowly getting back into it, we'll find that momentum starts to come back. So there's no need to try to kill yourself and to do it all at once and to just smash through it, because that's another recipe for failure. If you try very hard to get back to where you were, and it's like to go extremely hard for a month leads to burnout. Is it possible to take baby steps to get back to where you were? All right, now number 3. So this is something that I hadn't covered yet last time. Reconnect with your why. Remind yourself why it is that you practice. Remind yourself what it is that helps you by your meditation, by your exercise, by eating right, by sleeping enough, by drinking enough water. What is it that these things do? What is your motivation to meditate and to take care of your mental health on this ground level? And what are the benefits that maybe you've seen in the past? Or maybe this is your first time trying this out. So what is it that you hope to gain by taking care of yourself? So remembering that can help you to not I'm doing this because I'm I'm trying to make these radical changes in myself, or because I don't like the person that I am, just to gently, with ease, know with confidence and self-trusting that these are the things that are beneficial to me. And I know, even if I haven't experienced it myself, as I reflect back on before I started meditating, right? I didn't have any confidence that meditation would do anything for me, but I did see research, and just kind of having a bit of confidence in the work that other people have done and confidence in what other people have said, just to try it out. Maybe meditation or meditating every day isn't as beneficial as I hope it will be. Try it out. See how it goes. What is the thing that's motivating me? What is it that has helped? And for me, my number one motivator for the meditation, let's start with meditation and everything else that all these other pillars of mental health, is that I see my reactivity dampen, that I see myself able to respond rather than react. And for me, that's huge, and that's so important for minimizing harm in my own life, minimizing harm to myself, and minimizing harm to those around me. Number 4, use one pillar to rekindle the others. So maybe meditation's the hardest one for you. Don't start with that. See if you can start with the one that's easiest. And maybe that's hydration, right? Make sure you drink enough water. You might be surprised at how much more energetic you feel. This isn't really time for me to talk about the benefits of each of these 5 pillars, or maybe you have a 6th or a 7th that I didn't mention, something that really works for you to help as a foundation of your mental health. Pick the easiest one, the one that you can do without much effort. So maybe that's making sure you watch what you eat. Maybe it is exercise. Maybe it is sleeping enough. And what you will find is that these 5 things are not independent, that they're interrelated. And so as you begin working on one, the other ones start to fall into place all by themselves. And I'm reminded of a bartender friend of mine who he started meditating, and he noticed that he just kind of naturally started drinking less as well. Is that somehow it wasn't with any intention necessarily to make that shift. It's just that for some reason when he started meditating, that started to disappear all on its own. And so these kind of things happen. These things are interrelated. So if you pick the easiest one, you start working on it, you'll start to notice that the other ones are a bit easier to fall into place as well. And finally, normalize the cycle, right? Normalize the cycle. I really like this one a lot, in that, this is part of this. This is part of the cycle in general, and that you'll notice that again. And one thing I love about meditation is a microcosm of the rest of my life, and so just like falling out of rhythm is something that is normal. Life pulls us in different directions. What matters most is that we don't stay on it all the time. It's knowing that we can come back. And that coming back is the practice, right? We meditate, we focus on the breath. Our mind wanders. And then we come back. And it's that coming back that is the important part of the practice. That is the crucial part of our meditation practice, is noticing that the mind is wandering and coming back. So that can be also in your daily life as you notice that things are slipping, you notice yourself becoming more reactive. You can set this. This can be your why for coming back. And so this is how it goes. Sometimes we're on it, sometimes we're not. And as we're not, hopefully that mindfulness that we have cultivated over these days, weeks, months, years has been strong enough for us to recognize with self-compassion, right? Noticing ourself and being kind to ourselves, and because that's how to get motivated. Beating ourselves up isn't the way to get back into it. It is to be kind to ourselves and say, hey, it's okay. I've lost a bit of focus, and now it's time to come back and to get back into it, and to see these benefits, to see that I can become less reactive. I can be more present for myself and for others when all of these pillars are in place. So just slowly taking it easy, coming back bit by bit, and remembering that this is all part of the process. So you ready? Ready to get started in today's meditation? It's better coming back to it than without the weave. And thanks, Tammy Lady Sunshine. So get comfortable. So you can sit up straight if you like. You can lie down. You just choose whatever posture is going to work for you today. And just notice that you're breathing. And of course, you don't need to be relaxed as you do your meditation. And sometimes being relaxed can help you to stay on it and to stay with it. So let's together, as we get started, just deepen our breath a little bit. So intentionally take a little bit of control of the breath. So as we inhale, inhaling a little bit deeper, maybe counting as you inhale. Inhaling 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 2, 3, 4. Inhaling 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 2, 3, 4. One more. Inhaling 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 2, 3, 4. And now letting the breath return to its natural pace, letting the body take control of the breathing and observing the breath. Following the physical sensation, the expansion and contraction of the belly as you're breathing. Maybe you're noticing at the belly, maybe you're noticing at the chest, maybe you're noticing the feeling of air moving through the nostrils, just finding wherever the breath is most obvious, most accessible, easiest for you to find today, and tuning your attention there. And so let's take note of the body as well. state of the mind, noticing where we are, not just today, but right here, right now, in this moment. Feeling sensations in the forehead, in the eyes, in the cheeks, in the jaw. Noticing the muscles, if they're tense or if they're at ease. Noticing the neck and the shoulders. The upper back. You can feel free to move your head around a bit. Roll your shoulders, depending on what you find. Maybe to help encourage a bit more relaxation. So see if you can maybe put a bookmark as to where you are right now. So here's the tension that I feel in this moment. Or here's the ease. So kind of the theme around today's practice is noticing how things are different moment to moment. So this bookmark as to where you are just kind of helps to show, as we reflect back, what it was like then, what it's like now. So maybe you have great focus now. Maybe paying attention to the breath is extremely easy. It may be different 10 minutes from now. The tension in your body may also be different. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. So the idea is, can we see these cycles, these patterns, recognizing that we are not a static individual. The version of me that's here in this moment and the version of me that was here a few seconds ago is different. Even the breath, the amount of oxygen in the body is constantly in flux. As we exhale, the amount of oxygen in the body is decreasing. The amount of carbon dioxide in the blood is increasing. So with each and every breath, the body chemistry is changing. So maybe your awareness is tuned in enough that you can notice it. That this too is part of the grand cycle. So just as our meditation practice ebbs and flows, we can see it in this microcosm of practice. Oxygen increases, decreases, increases, decreases, the focus of our mind. Strong in this moment, and maybe all of those things in our life are distracting us and we're lost in thought moments later. So just as we reflect and remember our why, as we practice, remember our intention to stay focused. So maybe your intention is grander than that. Maybe there's a lot more to it. But one piece as we meditate can always be that intention to stay focused on the object of meditation. So right now, that's just observing the feeling of the breath. So I'm going to stop talking for a little while and give you some space to work and to observe yourself as you're changing. So as best you can, focus on the breath. When you notice your mind has wandered away from the breath, acknowledge and gently reorient the attention back to observing the physical sensation of breath. And so, how's it going now? Are you still focused on the breath? What's the state of the mind? What's the state of the body? So that was about 5 minutes of silence. What was that like? And what's it like now? So let's see if we can stay focused for just a little while longer. And when the mind does wander, try your best not to push away the thing that the mind has wandered to. Really take a good look at it because it's important. If it wasn't important, then you wouldn't have gotten distracted, even if it seems unimportant and ridiculous. It is what has brought your mind away from the thing that you were trying to do. So through many hours, many days, many weeks, many years of practice, we start to see these patterns. We start to become intimately familiar with the inner workings of our own minds. So don't push these away. Notice them. Investigate them curiously. Aha, this is where my mind has gone. Again, perhaps. It's a window for you to know more about you. And so now let's take a look at where we are. Notice the pace of the breath. Notice the sensations in the forehead, sensation around the eyes, the jaw, the shoulders, the back. Is there anything you can notice that's different from the bookmark you set earlier? Are you more relaxed, or maybe this meditation has had your mind wandering on all kinds of topics you haven't expected and now you're more tense? So see if you can notice this. The ebbs and flows that have happened in these last 20 minutes. And who's here now? And so, Congratulations, everyone, for making it through today's practice. I'm going to close our meditation with 3 rings of the bell. Congratulations, everyone, for making it through today's practice. Thanks for being here and sharing this time with me and with everybody else. So how did it go? Feel free to write in the chat, to share your experience, and maybe what you noticed. Is the version of you that started today the same as the version of you that ended? And what happened? And Rachel says, I couldn't stay focused in the silence. I've got a lot on today, and my thoughts started wandering into all that. In the end, I got up. Thanks, Rachel, for sharing. And this is, it's great to have examples like this, because it's a way to remind all of us that this space of silence, sometimes in this space of silence, our thoughts just start coming at us like a freight train that we can't stop. And then sometimes it's unpleasant, and it's unpleasant to the point that we need to stop. So thanks, Rachel, so much for sharing. Melissa says, relaxing. Caitlin says, I'm with Rachel 100%. The silence got to me. And so that's, one of the reasons sometimes to explore silence is because there is a lot in there sometimes. And, what happens? And this was, done intentionally today to see if you can notice the ebb and the flow. And sometimes what happens to some of us is like Melissa, that it's relaxing. And from the beginning of the meditation to the end, our bodies are more relaxed, our minds are more relaxed, more easy to focus. And then some experiences are more like Rachel's, where in that space of silence, it becomes harder and harder to focus because of just how much it is I'm holding. And, sometimes, even though it's unpleasant, it's a good reminder to see how much I'm holding right now. And to know, hey, and to have the wisdom to say it's time to get up. It's time to take a break from this, especially as we get started again. Maybe we haven't been practicing for a while, like in my case, as I'm getting back into all of my routines after the summer holidays. Jeff Chung, great to see you again here, says, same here, like Rachel, got distracted, but the short silence I did have felt good for me. Thanks, Jeff for sharing that. And Jean says, I encourage everyone to examine and reconnect with your why. Maybe journal about it. And if you feel comfortable, share in the chat in Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle. Certainly. I have a web link to that. So although I know this, I don't think you can actually cut and paste out of the comments here, but that's the group link to Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle. And that can be helpful too, knowing that, sharing and having the support of the group and the community. So, we're here, and I like this kind of sharing as well, because we see that we're not alone in our experience, and that the experience. Does that work? I'll try that. Caitlin, thanks. It doesn't seem to work from my end. But anyway, Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle, if you search in Insight Timer groups, you can find that. And that can be a way for you, for sharing with others, or even doing some kind of journaling in there if you want. And that can help you to reconnect with your why. That is a really important piece. Thank you, Jeff Chung, for your donation. And Jean is right in that writing it down reinforces it. And in fact, there are several steps. So writing it down and then telling another person about it, especially when it comes to like goals, right? Like if there's, or maybe goals, not the right, I did an exercise of envisioning an ideal future. And this was part of cementing that as an idea in our minds, is not just writing it down, but write it down and then tell somebody about it. And that will help to increase the probability of success. So, what is it that what is it that brings you to your cushion to meditate every day or every other day, or however often you meditate? And what is it that you're hoping to get out of your practice? Okay, this topic, I believe, leads quite naturally into self-compassion, because as we haven't been practicing, or as we find challenges in our practice, we may start to judge ourselves harshly. I couldn't make it through the meditation today because I had so many thoughts. I'm so busy. Why am I so busy? I need to get less busy, right? You can see that maybe this cascade of thoughts starts to happen, and the thought train starts to go out of control. And one of the things that we can do when simple attention and attentiveness to our breath and our experience doesn't work, because there are times when we just try to stay focused and the frustration mounts and it's too much. That might be time to work on self-compassion. So that's what we're going to move into next time. So as we're trying to get restarted, sometimes there's an element of self-harshness. Sometimes there's I don't like myself the way that I am starts to come up, which is counterproductive in this process of change. So we can intentionally start working on being kinder to ourselves. And so that's what we're going to start working on next time. So that'll be Tuesday, my time. Could be Monday evening for you, depending on where you are. And I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Angela says, that's why humankind created entertainment, the many diversions we created to avoid sitting down quietly with ourselves. Thanks for showing up, Angela. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Great to have you here today. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So let's close our practice with a little bit of compassion to ourselves and compassion to everyone who's here, compassion to all humans on this planet. So follow along with me if you like. I wish for myself happiness and peace. I wish for everyone who's here watching or listening, wherever you are, I wish for all of you happiness and peace. And I wish for all of humanity, no matter what the situation it is that they are in, I wish happiness and peace for us all. Thanks, everyone. See you again soon. Bye-bye.